focuses on gambling. It's coming to Pennsylvania. But as Nydia Hahn reports tonight, along with slots comes controversy about so-called comp or reward cards.
When the Pennsylvania slot parlors open, count on seeing a lot of these reward cards floating around.
As you play, you stick your card in the machine, and it gives you comp points back.
Bill Kearney, a former gambling addict, says the problem is those comp points lead some people into problems.
That's their bait to get you in. That's what justifies, again, your game, your spending.
He says the more you spend, the more comps you get, and the more hooked on gambling you become.
The problem is that because you're getting something, you won't feel the pain.
Last year, Pennsylvania State Representative Paul Clymer proposed a bill that would require casino operators to send monthly statements to all reward card holders, something Kearney strongly supports.
This would include your amount of time you played, how much you won, how much you lost.
Supporters hope the constant reminder would help people catch a gambling problem before it gets out of control.
The person who is spending doesn't realize how much they're spending. They're being treated royally by the casino people. They're getting these rewards, and it's all because they're losing money.
What do consumers have to say?
I think it'd be better for the consumer if they had a monthly statement so they could budget themselves better.
Maybe they would actually see what they're losing.
Action News has obtained a proposal by Donald Trump's developer, which says his casino will consider mailing reward card statements to these nearby Philadelphia zip codes on a quarterly basis. Kearney says that's a start, but not nearly enough.
By the time they realize they got a problem, they won't be able to stop.
When Action News asked the casinos about monthly statements, they had no comment. Meantime, House Bill 1245, which would have mandated monthly statements, ended up in a split vote and did not pass. I'm Nydia Hahn, Channel 6.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Bucks County, Representative Clymer, who offers amendment A04273, which the clerk will read.
This is amendment A04273.
Will the House adopt the amendment on that question? The chair recognizes the gentleman from Bucks County, Representative Clymer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I could define this legislation as the monthly statement legislation. What it does, it requires that each licensed gaming entity that offers patrons total reward cards that track the amount of money and time spent gaming in order to determine the value of provisions or complimentary services to their patrons, that those licensed establishments, the casinos, issue monthly statements that list the patrons' gaming winnings and losses. Now, my amendment is narrowly defined to only those who receive the reward cards. The average patron who goes in and gambles $5, $10, $15, $50 is not impacted because in all probability they don't get the reward card. And again, it's only those patrons who are tracked by the casino on the money and the time they spent in the casino that will get this monthly statement. At the present time, there is no protection for the casino gambler. My amendment is a family-oriented legislation. My amendment simply places the interest of our families over the earnings of the slot machine. I ask for an affirmative vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Recognizes the gentleman from Berks County, Representative Santoni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand in opposition to the Clymer Amendment 4273. Again, I'm surprised that my good Republican colleague is insisting that the big arm of government come on in and tell our casino operators how to do their business. It's unnecessary what he wants to do. If the casinos would want to supply those statements and want to provide that information to their patrons, they're more than willing to do it. But for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to come in and tell them to do it and tell them what to put in it and tell them what to send to their patrons, I think is something that's totally unnecessary. The gentleman obviously is trying to delay and cause this issue to go down. Even if this goes in, he's not going to vote for it. So I would ask the members of the body to reject this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Recognize the gentleman from Northumberland County, Representative Belfonte.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the representative, the sponsor of this amendment, again, while having good intentions, is asking for something that is impossible. Many people go to the casinos and do not use the comp card, the card that you put in the machine or you give to the pit boss if you're playing a table game, and that tracks the time that you play plus the average bet that the machine records or the pit boss records insofar as sitting at a table game. If you win X number of dollars, depending on what state you're in, you must take those winnings minus the IRS take and settle for the rest. The IRS take is 20%, I believe, right off the bat. Those are the only people that can be tracked. One person that comes in that does not use a card, is not looking for comps, or maybe is getting a comp just on facial recognition, is not counted in the system. We would have to treble or quadruple or quintuple the number of pit bosses and Pennsylvania Gaming Board officials to keep the type of tracking that the gentleman is offering in this amendment. Once again, it's an amendment designed to cripple the gaming, the new gaming in Pennsylvania, and again, drive a budget hole that I would like to hear anyone from the other side tell me how we're going to fill without a 17% across the board cut in services and in manpower, employees, etc. in this Commonwealth. This is designed to put that kind of a hole in the budget, to kill the legislation on table games, and I urge the members to vote against this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware County, Representative Vitale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the maker of the amendment stand for a brief interrogation?
Yes. The gentleman, Representative Clymer, indicates he will stand for interrogation. The gentleman, Mr. Vitale, is in order and may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm trying to get at the policy reasons behind this. Is this to create a record so that perhaps the spouse of a person who may have a gambling problem is alerted to monthly losses? Is that ultimately what we're trying to accomplish with this? Yeah, that's interrogation. Yeah, so...
Mr. Speaker, that is exactly what we're attempting to do. We recognize that when you look at the people who gamble...
I'm not sure if your mic is on.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is the goal we're attempting to achieve. When a person has spent far beyond their limits, or they could be winning as well, because my legislation deals with both losses and winnings, but because the House always wins, there's more people who lose than win. And many people lose large sums of money, and they will never tell the spouse or anyone close in the family how badly off they are. They will resort to white-collar crime, blue-collar crime, street crime, in order to try to win back their losses. So by sending out a monthly statement to the household, it is hoped, there's no positive assurance, but hope that someone will see that letter and they will see that their loved one has spent $1,500, $1,000 in losses, and if it's contrary to winning, the winnings would be in there as well. This legislation has been spawned by an individual, a serious addicted gambler who had lost his family, had lost millions, and he knows of many friends and other acquaintances who are also in the same situation as he was in. So the purpose is to have this monthly statement to come out from the casinos who have the technology, because they send out the reward. They send out the rewards and the complimentary things that they send to the gambler to bring them back. You know, the free weekend, the flight from a city to Las Vegas or to Atlantic City. You know, all the perks, all the complimentaries to bring that person back in. So they already have that person. They know who they are. They have the name and the address. And if they really need help, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure I could get some of my friends who are very well versed in technology to look at their system and to make a few accommodations so that we could have this monthly statement sent out.
Okay, now, I intend to support this. Now maybe you can address one of my concerns, because what I don't see is I just read the text and I don't really know what language is around it that's not in the amendment. But it says issue a monthly statement, but I don't see anything that directs it to be sent to a household or is there something I'm missing there, or is that sort of implied by the wording of the amendment?
Well, it's implied that that's where the monthly statement would be sent out on a monthly basis, just as you would receive mail for your credit card. It's implied that they would have to do it on a 30-day basis. It doesn't state the first of the month, the 15th, but on a rotating basis.
Like, for example, the stating to the person's household or primary residence or anything like that.
That is correct. They have the person's primary residence, or they have an address that they have on record. So whatever address they have on record, that is where the monthly statement would go.
Okay, thank you. That concludes my interrogation. Just a couple of comments. One is, I understand what you're trying to do. I have a friend who also has a spouse who has lost lots of joint funds, and something like this I would suspect would be helpful. I mean, the other response would be to a criticism I heard on the House floor with regard to, do we really want to be losing all this money to for the casinos, or losing this money for property tax relief or the budget? And my initial thought would be, well, if this is an addicted person and a problem gambler, we certainly don't want that money for the balancing of our budget. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Have all the members voted? Clerk will record the vote. On the question, the yeas are 98, nays 100. A majority of the members having voted in the negative, the amendment fails.